The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Still tracking the tropics, the latest on the system that's expected to impact us here in the Bahamas. The Economic Affairs Minister says expect a reversal of the jobs blip. And Prime Minister Davis making the case for climate justice. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, September 26th, 2025. This is Morning Blend of 96.9. Also coming up this morning, Ricardo Wells joining us, and we are going to get a preview of the third annual Men's Health Seminar that is just a few days away. And later in business, a preview of the upcoming HACES Empowerment and Resource Center. That's all ahead on this Friday. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. Made the comments during a high-level session on renewable energy abundance at the Global Energy Summit 2025 in New York. Prime Minister Davis saying, quote, "We are confident that energy reform will transform communities and our economy, but the path is not an easy one. And like everyone else, we will continue to navigate technical and supply chain challenges." He said that for countries like the Bahamas are financial, the biggest challenges, and Category 4 and 5 hurricanes over the course of less than a single day economy, making it difficult to invest in energy transitions and in climate resilience. Mr. Halkitis says that he was surprised the unemployment in the Bahamas was recorded at 10.8% in January, an outcome the government owns, but expects that the rate of jobs in subsequent quarters of this year will show a reversal of what's being called a blip in that first quarter. Halkitis telling the Nassau Guardian, quote, "I think we can expect a reduction because I think from January we've seen some activity." He pointed to Grand Bahama Celebration Key opening and other projects throughout the country. He says, quote, "I think you'll see more activity in the construction. I just think you'll see some momentum in the economy." Bahamas Grid Company announcing that it has hired 25 new employees in recent months, some of whom are former BPL workers. Earlier this month, Bahamas Power and Seymour said up to then, at that point, no employees from BPL had expressed a willingness to work for BGC. However, BGC said yesterday that 11 former BPL employee recruits. It says that the expansion marks one of the most ambitious workforce growth initiatives in the local energy sector. And the country's top prosecutor of the remaining suspect in the 2023 $1.475 million theft case. The suspect, former ID Holmes, is expected to be prosecuted. Expected to be the prosecution's star witness in a corruption case that stemmed from the release of phone calls between the alleged mastermind of the theft, Michael Fox Jr., his lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, and then CID Chief Michael Johnson. The money, the property, was supposed to be transported to branches in Freeport, Bimini. Prosecutors allege that the money was stolen from the bank, from the back seat of ICS guard Terry Butler's Toyota Harrier on November 2nd, 2023. And Holmes' trial began on September 9th. He left the money unattended when he went into Odyssey Airport to let the pilot know he was there. He said when he came out after he was alerted by noticed that the back window of his vehicle was broken and the money was gone. According to Butler, he had previously transported large sums of money by himself using his private car instead of an He also said it wasn't the first time he'd left money unattended. Butler is expected to resume his testimony next month, but that won't be necessary since Director of Prosecutions Cordell Frazier has issued a nolle prosequi. I'll return to the courtroom as a prosecution witness in 2 corruption trials. Prosecutors allege that Johnson stole $90,000 that was recovered from Holmes' investigation. It's alleged that Johnson received the money from Sergeant D'Angelo Roll, who's charged with abetment to stealing. Ferguson and Johnson also bribery charges. They're accused of helping Fox, the reported leader of the Fox Hill Outlaws, from being charged with the money heist. Plaintiff in another trial where he alleges that officers Chavez Sawyer, Benson Miller, Nelson Miller, and D'Angelo Roll attempted to extort money from him on November 3rd. Holmes' co-accused Oral Roberts was murdered in July 2024. And a judge sentencing a man who held up an MP and his wife to 14 years in prison. 25-year-old Brentford Hannah did not show any. Justice Neil Brathwaite had the sentence. Hannah's lawyer, Marianne Cadet, asking the judge to make an order for him to keep his dreadlocks because of his Rastafarian faith. However, Brathwaite did not have the authority to do so. On August 13, 2021, Reuben Rabbing, who was then the F&M Member of Parliament for Pinewood, pulled up to his home in Yamacross, a constituency meeting. 2 gunmen ordered him out of his car and forced him to lay on the ground, and he was robbed of a watch, cell phone, and $300. Rabbing's wife, Natasha, pulled her up as well and forced her onto the ground. She was robbed of her phone, wallet, and $185 and other personal belongings. The robbers fled the scene in a gray Nissan Note. Police recovered Mrs. Rabbing's bag and cell phone and garbage in front of Hannah's apartment. And schools on Acklands, Crooked Island, Inagua, and Mayaguana are closed today as experts continue to watch a tropical system entering the southeast Bahamas for signs of development. In a statement issued yesterday, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training said out of an abundance of caution. This statement that in the interest of student and staff safety, it had activated its emergency protocols and suspended school operations in the affected areas. The ministry says it will continue to monitor closely and will issue further updates as advised by the Department of Meteorology. We'll have the latest on the system in just a bit. Behind the scenes at the annual gathering of world leaders at the United Nations, key countries and regional organizations have been coordinating efforts to try to end the horrific war in Sudan, the most devastating humanitarian and displacement crisis in the world. The International Crisis Group's project director, Alan Boswell, said this year's General Assembly meeting, which ends Monday, could be make or break for stopping the conflict. He said in a statement that for the first time since the war broke out more than 2 years ago, influential outside powers agreed this month on a roadmap to end the war. He said, now comes the huge task of trying to convince Sudan's warring fighting. Sudan plunged into conflict in mid-April 2023 when long-simmering tensions between its rival military and paramilitary commanders broke out in the capital and spread to western Darfur and much of the rest of the country. At least 40,000 people have been killed, nearly 1 million displaced, and many pushed to the brink of famine, with over 24 million acutely food insecure, according to the UN. In a key development after a summer of discussions, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates issued a joint statement on September 12th calling for a humanitarian truce for an initial 3 months to deliver desperately needed aid throughout Sudan, followed by a permanent ceasefire. Intrusions into NATO's airspace blamed on Russia reaching an unprecedented scale, raising questions about whether the Kremlin is trying to test the alliance's willingness and ability to respond to a direct attack or divert its attention or resources from the war in Ukraine. Russia's been encroaching on its NATO neighbors' airspace for decades, either denying it happened or brushing it off as unintentional. But since its 2022 invasion of Ukraine, such incursions have carried a bigger threat. Estonia and Russian fighter jets flew into the territory last week and remained there for 12 minutes. The incursion, Estonia's foreign minister described as an unprecedented, but that Russia denies has happened. And Romania and Latvia reported that single Russian drones violated their airspace this month. And one of Haiti's leaders asking to help his troubled Caribbean country fight what he characterized as a war against relentless gang violence. The head of Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council, Laurent Saint-Cyr, addressing the UN General Assembly in New York Thursday, saying that immediate action was needed because people across the country. He said, quote, "Just a 4-hour plane ride from here, a human tragedy is unfolding. Every day, innocent lives are extinguished. Entire neighborhoods are disappearing. It's important. He's experiencing war, a war between criminals that want to impose violence as a social order and an armed population that is fighting for human dignity and freedom." As you know, violence between the country's gangs and police, as well as its vigilante groups, has left more than dead from January to June, with another 1,189 injured, according to the United Nations. The mayhem has displaced more than 1.3 million people across Haiti in recent years, while more than half of Haiti's nearly 12 million inhabitants were expected to experience severe hunger through the first half of this year. And it's time for sports. The Supreme Court of the Bahamas has ruled that the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association must hold its AGM meeting and election of officers Saturday, October 18th. That's about 3 weeks from today. The elections were initially scheduled for September 13th, but were postponed following an injunction filed by attorney Bjorn Ferguson and Kenwood Kerr. The Supreme Court issued several rulings in accordance with the Court of Appeal judgment handed down on July 22nd. BLTA was ordered to hold the AGM and election of officers on October 18th at 3 p.m. National Tennis Center. Additionally, the Supreme Court ruled that Ferguson and Kerr shall serve the BLTA with a list of outstanding applications as known to them. The BLTA was also ordered to issue a public call for membership applications for September 18th, including details of membership fees and notice of deadlines for applications. And the sports world in mourning one of the greatest sportsmen of any era in the Bahamas has passed, Edworth Eddie Ford, who transcended greatness across 4 sports, passed away Wednesday, age 77. Ford, a Bahamian icon of basketball, softball, baseball, and cricket, also excelled in track and field, making valuable contributions to the development. In basketball, he was known for one of the greatest sporting feats of all time in Bahamian sports history, scoring 100 points in a game. In softball, he excelled locally and internationally. Memorably was the part he played in helping the Bahamas win gold at an international tournament in Mexico in 1977, in which he was named the MVP. And in baseball, Ford reached as high as the minor leagues professionally, playing single-A baseball in the Houston Astros organization. Also enforcing cricket, a fierce batter, and a whole lot more. You can read about it today in Guardian Sport, passing away at age 77. And from NFL Thursday night action, Flyers booting a 52-yard field goal on the final play, lifting the Seattle Seahawks to a 23-20 win over the Arizona Cardinals. At sports night, time for your first look at weather. And your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. Got a lot to talk about this morning, a lot going on in the tropics, and we're going to be impacted by this. So a special weather statement has been issued in relation to tropical disturbance still being called AL94, and residents in the Turks and Caicos Islands asked to pay special attention to all communications and forecasts in regard to this system. So we are moisture that's going to support some showers and thunderstorms across the northern and northwest Bahamas for today. That's not associated with AL94 as yet, but showers and thunderstorms and gusty winds associated with that tropical wave will begin to affect the southeast Bahamas and the central Bahamas today through tonight. The tropical disturbance AL94 now has into an area of low pressure or tropical depression sometime today or early tomorrow, Saturday. And so unsettled weather can be expected across most of the country as the disturbance continues its northerly track. We're going to continue to monitor the system for you. Rip currents. We've got a high risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposures in the central and southeast Bahamas due to AL90. Beachgoers should stay out of the water until further notice. Still going to be a hot day though, and we're dealing with heat index and UV index in the high range, triple digits. Heat index. More on that in just a bit. But your forecast for today. So for the extreme northern Bahamas, look for partly cloudy conditions today and tonight with a 20 to 40% chance of showers or thunderstorms. Wind southeast with higher gusts becoming southeast at 10 to 15 knots by tonight. For the northwest and central Bahamas, including New Providence, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming variably cloudy by tonight, to 30% chance of widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, increasing to 60 to 80% by tonight for the central Bahamas. Winds at 10 to 15 knots, so 15 to 20 knots for the central islands, becoming east to southeast at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts tonight for the central Bahamas. And in the south, again, the tropical wave right on your doorstep. So today, cloudy to overcast conditions today through tonight a 60 to 80% chance of widespread showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 20 to 25 knots with occasional higher gusts, becoming southeast to south by tonight. Temperature-wise, for most of the country, look for highs around 90, 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 105, 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79, 80 Fahrenheit, 26, 27. For the southeast Bahamas, with the rain and the cloud cover, look for highs in the mid-80s, around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Heat index won't be a factor for you. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. First look at weather this morning. We'll have more on the tropics, including Umberto, which is now a hurricane, but no impact for us with that one. And Gabrielle is out there at Portugal. That and your weekend forecast all ahead. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake
You are listening to Morning Blend, and when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Starbucks Bahamas is the place you need to be. Taste the pride of Bohemian craft and culture in premium coffee. Recommended to serve convenience and we stand on consistency. We're more than just a coffee house. Come join our community. We've been here for 20 years. The celebration with us. Uplift every day with each cup of culture. We've been here for 20 years. The celebration with us. Starbucks Bahamas come to give you coffee, community, craft and culture.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckle hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one. Choose technology. Our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC Games and more. John Bullfine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Spend and save this summer with CIBC Caribbean. Experience something like never before when you spend with your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card. The lucky winner will receive the gift of relaxation and summer fun with a $3,000 travel voucher, a $1,000 cash dollar spa gift certificate. Each time you spend $150 or more, you'll automatically be entered for your chance to win. Spend today with your CIBC Caribbean Visa credit card. Terms and conditions apply. BN.com/summer spend and save. Promotion ends September 30th, 2025.
On World Tourism Day, we proudly join the global community in celebrating this year's theme, Tourism Transformation. Here in Nassau and Paradise Island, we see every day how tourism shapes lives and strengthens communities. With each visit, our culture shines brighter, our stories travel further, and continue to thrive for generations. Sustainability is at the core of our journey, from mangrove planting to scholarships for Bahamian students, preserving historic landmarks, to supporting our artisans. The Nassau and Paradise Island Promotion Board is committed to safeguarding what makes our islands so special. As we celebrate, let us continue working together to preserve paradise and uplift our people, ensuring that tourism remains a true force for good.
Your solution for rising gas prices and expensive car maintenance has landed. Brand new 2026 electric vehicles from BYD have arrived at Easy Car Sales. Imagine no more gas and major savings on maintenance. Test drive a BYD EV today and save thousands with the car that redefines driving. Visit easy242.com for our 3 locations, in-house financing, and more. Easy Car Sales, the only authorized BYD dealer and warranty provider in the Bahamas.
Fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit Warren Branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement, and CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, hey. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end?
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live at radio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend 964224796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now on this Friday morning. Is this the last Friday of September? Oh, my goodness.
It is.
It is. Wells, good morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Where did September go? Who stole it?
Well, September is actually my birthday month, so it's been a really good ride. I was in early September, and I've been enjoying September ever since September 4.
Oh, wow. You should have told me. Okay. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much.
Oh, gosh. I think, was that one of the days you were on the show? Close.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to have you with us as always. Okay. A lot to talk about this morning. Of course, the latest with the tropical wave that is very likely to become. We're going to get the latest on that for you this morning. And a whole lot to talk about in the news, but also we are going to be giving you details about an upcoming men's health seminar. I think they've been on every year telling us about this, and for the annual one, which is coming up in just a few days, and they'll be here this morning to talk about that. Then later, we're going to be talking about the HASIS Empowerment and Resource Center and their event that's coming up soon. We'll get the details about that as well. So that's a lot to get to on the Friday, and a couple other stories we want to touch on before the end of the week. But right now it's time to talk about what's in the news. All right, so in the news, as we said, we're all watching what is being called now AL94, Invest 94. And so the very latest from the National Hurricane Center. So showers and thunderstorms continue to show signs of organization in association with the tropical wave currently located near Hispaniola and the Turks and Caicos Islands. An area of low pressure is expected to wave today when it moves near the southeast Bahamas. The low is expected to become a tropical depression when it's near the central and northwest Bahamas later today or over the weekend, and then track northward or northwestward over the southwestern Atlantic. So this is the key part here. Regardless of development, heavy rain winds are ongoing in the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, and will likely spread across the Bahamas and eastern Cuba during the next couple of days. Areas, including the Bahamas, yes, need to monitor the progress of the system. While there is significant uncertainty in the long-range track and intensity of the system, the chances of rain, wind, and storm surge impact the southeast U.S. coast during the next several days are increasing, and interest in that part of the U.S. need to be monitoring this as well. So right now, formation chance through 48 hours is high at 80%, and formation chance through 7 days is high at 90%. Right? And the Department of Meteorology has already said this, that we can expect 2 to 4 inches of rain, as high as 6 inches of rain in some parts of the country. So that is definitely something there. And if you missed it, we told you about this as well, what the Department of Education is saying on this. Schools on Acklands, Crooked Island, Inagua, and Mayagüana are closed today as weather experts continue to monitor this tropical wave. In a statement issued yesterday, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational acting out of an abundance of caution, and that, quote, according to current projections, these islands are expected to experience significant rainfall and localized flooding. In the interest of student and staff safety, the ministry has activated its emergency protocols and suspended school operations in the affected areas. The ministry will continue to monitor weather developments closely and will issue further updates as advised by the Department of Meteorology.
So if the expectation is that we could have some sort of impact in the central and northern islands.
Oh, yeah.
Would it not be kind of productive to kind of plan for that now?
I'm sure they are. Thank God it's Friday. And so the weather is expected Saturday and Sunday. What will happen on Monday is unclear. Everyone needs to be paying attention to see if
Dwight, we see
Monday will be
we see what could happen in the capital with just an hour of torrential rain. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine if we have any sort of tropical storm conditions over the weekend.
It would be awful. It would be awful. Yeah. Again, people don't know exactly what could happen. So I don't know. What do you say? You think they should just say no school on Monday right now?
I mean, I think that's the safest option, allowing parents to then make proper preparations, because you don't want the weird situation when a report comes out on Saturday or Sunday and parents have to now wait to either keep their kids at home without being there, have an opportunity to plan over the weekend and to at least have an idea of what next week could look like.
Well, you could plan right now. Plan for a possibility that Monday could be a no school or work day. Plan right now. It hasn't been called yet. We don't know what's going to happen, but there is a certainty that will be the case. Do with that information as you wish. No?
I'm full agreement there.
Okay, let's hope everything will be fine. Is a strong possibility. Yeah. So I want to hear from you on that, folks. 323-6232, 325-416, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us, 422-4796. Out in the waves now, but the other system that was looks like it's heading towards Bermuda, Umberto, is now a hurricane, and it's forecast to become a major hurricane when it gets closer to Bermuda. So that is very scary for them. They had to deal with Gabrielle, I believe, but the threats to Bermuda are scary. The number of threats there have been. But we are all focused on this tropical wave, and all the spaghetti models have it going over the Bahamas. We don't know what it will be, whether it will be just a wave, whether it looks like it will definitely be a depression. Would it be anything stronger than that? It is not clear, but whatever it is, we're going to feel the impacts of it. And as you said, Ricardo, we haven't seen anything yet, and yet the streets are flooded in New Providence. It's been a really wet few days, and it feels like we're at the max of what we could take. So that is a bit terrifying.
And that because I just want to have an idea of what next week could look like. And I know it's hard for the Met Department to, forecast that far ahead right now, but it's going to be a problem come next week.
Oh boy, the dinghies and rafts and everything ready just in case. Yeah. So the Prime Minister making the case at the UN about the climate crisis here and responding to some claims made by some other world leaders, one in particular, that climate change, you can call his name?
Yeah.
U.S. President Donald Trump said it, not even paraphrasing. He said climate change is a hoax. He said it's a hoax. So Prime Minister Davis speaking and saying, oh, trust us, trust the Bahamas. Ain't nothing hoax about this. Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
Prime Minister Philip Davis expressed concern over two weather systems threatening parts of the Bahamas. As he addressed the UN Climate Summit, Davis insisted the frequency and intensity of hurricanes is real.
As I stand here at this very moment, there are two systems that are threatening my country, AL3 and AL94. And each of them have been predicted to be impacting my islands. The frequency and intensity of hurricanes is real. It's no hoax. It's not a con job. The 1.5 degree Paris temperatures go on life support, and our actions ahead of COP30 and beyond will give it the opportunity to either survive or we accept that we have come to the end of a singular call for the hope of humanity.
The Bahamas Department of Meteorology continues to closely monitor an active tropical wave AL94, an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms located near the Dominican Republic. The system is expected to continue moving towards the west-northwest and Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands sometime on Friday. AL94 will eventually move northwestward along the eastern flank of the island chain on Saturday and Sunday. Some uncertainty still remains relating to the intensity of development of the disturbance once the system moves into the Bahamas. Davis pointed out once again that small island developing states like the Bahamas emit less than 0.1% of greenhouse gases.
It is clear that some of the most pollutions in the world are from developing countries, particularly small island developing states, and notably in the Caribbean region. And while small island developing states emit less than 0.01% of greenhouse gases, the ambitious climate action goals we set out in our NDCs are being proposed not only to curb emissions, but to build in adaptation, climate resilience, and sustainable development co-benefits.
Despite limited finances, the Prime Minister says the Bahamas has taken the approach to be solution-oriented in the fight against climate change. He provided an update on the government's energy reform efforts.
In our pre-2030 NDCs, the Bahamas established a goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 30% by 2030. This goal is being driven by increasing losses by 30% and addressing technological advancements in the transportation sector by setting a target of electric vehicles to represent 35% of vehicle sales by the year 2030. Our preliminary data has shown that my government's efforts via our new energy era policy, which focuses on energy efficiency, utility-scale solar power in our nation's capital, new hybrid grids in our family of islands, and deployment of modern technology will result in our country exceeding our 2030 renewable energy goal by 2%, with 32% renewable energy penetration across our archipelago.
Reporting for the Guardian Network, I'm Vonnie.
Okay, so just a little bit of hyperbole. It's not,
A lot.
What? No, not a lot.
A lot.
No. Well, definitely not two systems are impacting us, but things could change. But one that's Umberto's meals for comfort. But anyway, two are out there.
But in his defense, he's responding to very hyperbolic comments by the
Exactly.
US president. So it's fit for that right now.
They don't have the lock on that. They don't have the lock on that.
Right. Let me just say for the record, this has been the most enjoyable UN conference in quite some time. So it's been good. A lot of sound bites, a lot of really, really good clips.
It's like the Super Bowl of politics or something.
Definitely. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, you're right about that. Wow. All right, but so let's talk about it. What the Prime Minister is saying. Is it an effective enough counterpoint to what the U.S. president was spewing this week?
From my standpoint, his response was very measured. It was very careful, give him credit for that. But the issue still remains. As he indicated, SID, small island developing states, less than 1%. So we could do everything in our power to make these islands sustainable, to make these islands somewhat protected from storms in the way that we design them. But it's very little we could do in the grand scheme of things to impact the global warming measures that we see and what they produce in terms of these hurricanes, these natural disasters. So it's hard for small nations like us to talk up to big nations like America. I think we do a better job when we do it as a collection. That's the best way to approach it, but I'm going to give him credit for his attempt.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear from you all, folks. What do you make of it? 323-6232, 325-4316, 4316-4259 as well. All right, and call us toll free on the toll-free line there. It's rough, and there's so much attention that the other person got for the comments, and it seemed like everything he says, certain people will just eat it up and see it as gospel. It's challenging when a tiny little country talks like this, even if there are tons of tiny little countries talking like this. When you've got somebody saying wasting your time on green initiatives is going to send your country to hell, and this is all designed by how do you say, stupid, evil people?
Yes.
What do we do? Our future is hanging, but it is dismissed by the people who can possibly do something about it. What do we do? What do we do? Oh boy.
It's hard to start the fight here, especially what went on at this UN conference. In addition to the climate change conversation, everything going on with the Middle East and the idea of seeing Palestine as a state, all of those things also happened. So this is kind of playing the back burner to that noise as well. But for us in countries like the Bahamas, it's the most impactful conversation.
Yeah.
Because if you have somebody of the status of U.S. President Trump making these remarks, it gives you sort of a level of insight into what these big countries have seen. And to be fair, we in these small countries, we haven't done a really good job. The carbon credits, where's that conversation gone?
Well, we're still having it. I don't know if anybody is listening.
No, on an international stage, where's that conversation gone? Where's the remedies that were supposed to be supplied to like ourselves to help us, kind of rebuild our communities in a way that could withstand what's coming?
Yeah.
At COP, the last conversation was where we are starting to move the level back. We understood at that time that the election of Trump would lead to it kind of going in the next direction. But it seems like his re-election kind of killed everything.
Yeah,
and it's like that bandwagon to move us in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, the momentum is definitely gone from that, right? And I think, what did he say? He got his country out of that, paraphrasing again, to time Paris Agreement. So we have to wonder what the strategy now for our government is going to be. Um, with, as you mentioned, the carbon credit plan and just everything we were talking about just a few years ago.
I can make my first controversial statement of the day. I'm not 100% in agreement with Trump, but I do have questions about the Paris agreements.
Oh boy.
No, it's not that I'm not 100% in line with it. How effective was it for small countries like us? That's the question I keep asking. This system reminds me of this whole idea where people just take credit. Big countries that lead to the majority of this issue. They say, okay, yeah, we could just pass off these carbon credits. We can help our communities. How much of that actually trickles down to SIDs? That's the question that has always been. All of these grand plans are unveiled, but how much of it actually impacts the countries that need it the most?
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that it could have gotten there? That if different things happened in terms of election, certain other people had been put in place, that it could have achieved what it had set out to do?
It's hard to say, Dwight. And that's always been my issue with this discussion. It's hard to say because a lot of these companies, a lot of these major entities were kind of pulled in that direction, kicking and screaming. So the election of Donald Trump actually provided them a bit of a reprieve because now all of these things that they were forced into, we go back to the Toyota deal, them trying to build a plant in the US to generate as much of the electric cars as former President Joe Biden wanted them to do. But they weren't excited to go that direction. That was not like, hey, this is a big deal for us. That was something that they had to be pushed into to qualify to remain in America. All these sorts of things played into it. So now the question is, if these companies were not, interested in doing this all on their own, what does it really mean? Is this a situation where persons were just like placating, going through the political whims and fancies of the leaders of that time and say, hey, well, if this is what y'all want, we could try and, prepare ourselves to do that, but we don't really want to do it. And then would they want that then come back to countries like the Bahamas, countries like Barbados, countries like Jamaica, countries that see the impact of these storms year after year after year? I always tell people, okay, these were storms that kind of exploded within hours. Like you saw a tropical storm, and then 12 hours later, you saw a Category 5. That showed you how devastating the impact has been to countries like us.
Yeah.
So if these companies had no interest in actually supporting, where does that leave us?
Well, that's kind of tricky. I mean, I think some of them sort of did, but then the sales numbers weren't really living up to expectations.
Why do you have to find five to tell me? If you could identify five that wanted to do it, that wasn't forced to do it, that wasn't put in an awkward position by doing it. Even some of the big countries, like we saw in Germany. Germany did everything in their power and then backdoored, and then a couple of days later, they were buying fuel from. Like all of these things are so weird to me because if we're really interested in moving the world in the right direction, you would have more voices opposed to Donald Trump's point a few days ago.
Yeah.
The only voices you hear right now is the countries that suffer the most when we have these dreadful storms.
Indeed.
You don't have the other big manufacturing countries saying, well, hey, I hear where you're coming from, sir. But so it makes it seem like all of them feel that way. He's just the only one that is willing to stand up and actually say it.
Yeah. Well, the environmentalists in those countries, but they're on the back burner. They're in the right. No one's really paying all the attention.
When it comes to the environment, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to elderly care, you can have all of the category experts say whatever they want to say. When political will walks in the room, all of that goes out the window. And that's what we see right now with this climate change issue. Yeah. Every environmentalist has made a case as to what direction we're moving in, why it's devastating to us as we progress. And then you see political will walk into the space, and all of that conversation died down.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, you see companies reinvesting now in ICE engines, right? Internal combustion engines. It's like it's 1995 or something.
I think both of these storms, I think Gabrielle was in 2001, if I remember exactly, and I think Umberto was in the 2010s.
Oh, you mean the recycled names?
Yeah. So we're all living in the past.
Oh boy, that's scary. Very scary. Wow. Yeah, we will see. We will see what happens. I believe Prime Minister Davis will speak to the major General Assembly today, and I'm sure he will bring this up again to them. You do hear the change when the big countries suffer a massive environmental catastrophe, but it seems to be short-lived discussions about it and then back to business as usual, unfortunately. Boy, yeah.
Remember when I left college, the whole discussion was around the concept of climate refugees. And I always said at that time, if we were clear, if the evidence was clear that this was the direction global warming was moving us into, why at that time wasn't a conversation around, hey, we're going to try and save our islands, we're going to try and save our communities. But with that said, if this continues to move in this direction, what is the possibility for these larger countries to take on some of these smaller countries in supporting roles? Not to, mess with sovereignty or anything like that, but to provide leeway for those persons if there was a catastrophe. Hey, your citizens could then come along and we'll take them out. We could offer special visas. We saw what happened post the Haiti earthquake. Now we see where that ended up. We're now living in the results of that. All of those persons that were brought over, all of those special allotments now has led to so many other issues. We don't want to see that as small countries where we recognize that we're not getting the help and there's no place for us to call to or fall on.
God, we never reached that point. My goodness. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to you, Dwight, and good morning to you, Ricardo.
Hi, good morning.
I'm contested in all the bullets we had to the people who were shooting at us.
That he didn't do what?
He didn't make a pitch to sell the bullets to the people who are shooting at us.
Oh, boy.
That's what carbon credits are, Permission to continue shooting. I mean, isn't that what it is ultimately? But Dwight, as a person who's been speaking on this for 25 years, directly in the Bahamas, not outside of the Bahamas. In fact, I remember coming home 20 years ago for the environmentalists in this town thought I was a tree hugger. Like they thought I was extreme in my views. I was glad to know today they're all in the same position I am. But my position has always been one that, we talk about, or we say, we've been complaining about this nail we're sitting on rather than getting up off it. We've had the resources that is necessary to prepare us, and the technology is even more so available today to prepare us for any type of sea rise. I know we use the word climate change. We used to use the word, with it freezing, and then we used to go global warming. Now we say the word climate change. That could be up or down. It could be freezing or heat. But, Dwight, when you look at the global economies, right, and you look at those who contribute, China, the United States, the European Union, Brazil, Indonesia, Japan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, the top 10, the big 10, right? And you look at what we do, what we say we would absorb with our carbon credit, and the fact that we contribute 0.01% to the global thing with 5-degree moving, and then they say we don't hit it by 2050. We're moving towards 1.8 now, but if we don't hit the 1.5 by 2050, it'll be almost impossible to actually reverse the whole concept. I mean, the whole idea of stopping whatever it is to be. I am one to believe that we have always innovated ourselves out of everything that we have faced in the last 200 years.
Who's
we'll
we?
continue to do the same thing.
Who's we?
Right,
The Bahamas?
Huh?
The Bahamas or the
world?
Who's
the world.
Oh, the world. Ah, okay.
Yeah, right. We use the word innovators very casually. The word innovators to bring about something new, as opposed to just simply adding to or changing slightly something. But let's look, and Ricardo, just look at it. We have the digital economy, the aquamarine economy, the conceptual economy. We have the AI economy, technically the technology economy, the blockchain economy. And in fact, these has brought about almost every of the 80 economy models that are known today is intensive contributors to what we call greenhouse gases or whatever. The question is, are we willing to shut down 30 of those economic models to basically supposedly save the world so we could just go back to the caves and preserve ourselves? This is brought about what we have now talked about as the climate economy, the carbon economy, the energy economy, etc. And so when you look at what AI is doing, what blockchain is doing, what the new accelerated of the blockchain with the tokenization with Donald Trump introducing the stable coins and basically moving the entire United States financial thing to it, that means that we will have an accelerated growth for the need for energy consumption. Consumption we use is the old methods of doing it. So at the same time, we're talking about this thing called climate change. What are we doing? Dwight, you have
absolutely.
Just a 1 point.
Like what, 30 seconds?
About this aragonite and all those different things. I'll make sure I send this to you and you could forward it to Ricardo, is that we have this ability to begin to fortify the Bahamas and protect us from climate change or sea rise that we talk about, and build a more resilient economy. And within the silos of the Bahamas, while we talk about the lack of resources, it's like having bread on the table, but you leave the house hungry to go look for food. And so we have the resources and the economics and billions of dollars in our data silos, and not selling our aragonite, but in the use of it. But you should have an actual show on where we are in the so-called climate change action, inaction of doing things because of unawareness or ignorance, as you can call it, looking for somebody to save us when we have the tools to save ourselves. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Thank you very much. Some text message here. This person says here, this person is clearly living in a 5-day delay. Dwight, did you see Tylenol warning pregnant women? Tylenol did not. What? Did you see Tylenol warning telling pregnant women not to take their drug in 2017? I don't know why you bring this up. Why you bring this up? That's something that was going on at the time. Okay. But we're not talking about that today. But tune in next week. We're gonna have a very interesting discussion about this and busting these myths. But so you're just I don't understand your text. What's your point? You are on the anti-Tylenol, or okay?
I know you're promising a show on it next week, but I have to ask now because it's very confusing to me, this whole process. Is it the anger that said it, so it must be wrong, or is it
which one? On my part?
No, the whole Tylenol fiasco. I'm trying to understand the world's response to this. Is it that Donald Trump said it, so it's wrong, or is it more so we're gonna wait for proper context?
Because there's no evidence to support what he said.
Well, there's been some partial studies. There's been some court cases that have addressed it to a degree that has not risen to the point of national or international discourse. So there are some things sizzling in the background on it.
Okay. These same people also drank water. Are we going to say water is potentially what caused it?
This is what I'm saying, Dwight. I think we should all just slow down, wait for context, allow the medical community to do what we expect them for doing, the research. Allow that to play out. And what he did this week was by far one of the most stupidest things I've ever seen. I don't understand why you jump out the window on something like this without proper context. Context is everything in a world where there's so much information, there's so much noise. You need context. That's provided.
You know how certain people work. Whatever you can do to blame the women, the mothers, it was something you all did that caused it.
I don't see. Okay, I don't feel like it's that. I've seen that.
Why are they telling men not to take it?
Men don't carry the kids.
But you play a role. We play a role.
But see, this is what I'm saying. This is why context is so critical, because all of these, you could kind of drown them out with proper context, because you would narrow down the scope of the discussion. And right now, I just felt like we should have waited for the researchers to make a definitive ruling on this before it became a national or international panic. A person saying, well, the president announced that. No. because now you have people popping up with all these things. The Tylenol themselves have said over the last couple of years, which in out of context kind of leads the discussion the wrong way. I think we should all just calm down and just wait for things to get where it needs to be.
We're going to have some medical experts on to talk about it. And so tune in for that in the coming days.
For anybody that wants to, respond politically, please don't take a bunch of Tylenol. Please don't refrain yourself from Tylenol. Just be normal about this. Everybody, be calm. Be calm, please.
This text says, it's difficult to predict the impact and to have children lose school days. So the Ministry of Education has to be conservative and mindful if it is too early to call school off from Monday. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're doing. And I guarantee you, if they make the announcement on Sunday, everybody and all their moms will hear that there's no school on Monday. They're right? That's one thing you hear when school's closed. Everybody knows. But yeah, when school reopens, people won't hear that one. They'll hear when it's closed.
They will hear, but it will be a bit outrageous. Oh, what I can do with these children now for who? That is also going to be that in the background.
Well, quite possibly you won't be able to go to work either. So you be home with the kids.
I know that would be.
Oh yeah,
we don't regularly have that kind of setup.
Only the fast food places will be open.
There we go.
But oh boy. Anyway, yeah, let's read some more of these messages. Oh boy, it's a lot. Okay, but they go on to say that I'm glad to hear the Prime Minister found his testicular fortitude. We admit so few countries need to be held accountable. He's been saying this for years. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Texter? He found it years ago, if you must put it like that. Even with our low emissions, we still are trying to decrease our emissions. Okay, I don't know. Sure. Anyway, this text says, remember the Prime Minister has to walk a fine line because he doesn't want Rubio to revoke his visa. What? We know our leader loves to travel. These people, everything's a joke. Everything's a joke, although that is kind of funny. Prime Minister Davis is just wasting his time talking. Big nations like the USA and others are not checking for us. Wow. Trump is not talking to Prime Minister Davis because he is still allowing a bunch of roach cars on this island, and they mean the small little Japanese cars.
I don't feel like we need to every text message. We got to get
my brain feels the same way. Oh, trust me, some of these we don't, but they're saying that we're still burning fossil fuels, so he's not serious. Well, what do you propose? What everybody jump immediately? That would be great, but people can't necessarily afford it. It's very hard to find used ones at this time, so that it'll have to be a phased-in approach, and you have to be reasonable. Of course, we could.
That is why policies are so important. You can mandate these things over time that slowly pushes everybody in the right direction. That's why when you have somebody like the president, the current president, moving the world in the opposite direction, it is so harmful.
Yeah. Of course, we could make some big changes in terms of public transportation and move totally green there. We can't even, it seems, even begin to think about what the future of public transportation should look like in New Providence, especially. So we do have a lot of work to do.
That right there is where my kind of concern with the Paris Agreement exists. So those are the things I feel like we could tangibly get in these sorts of discussions. Hey, bigger countries that are destroying the world with all of these emissions, why not support smaller countries by assisting them financially to upgrade their infrastructure to meet the demands or meet the concerns that could rise from the global impact of global warming? Why not do that? Why isn't there a discussion that Toyota, you're doing all of this, also supply these small countries with buses, government car fleets, all of those sorts of things? So, like, that should be in the world. On the back end, we could also help countries that would be greatly impacted by the destruction that we're kind of creating. Like, that should be it. No?
I agree with you. I don't know if those conversations are being had, but that is absolutely where we need to be. I don't know if it's with the countries or the companies, but we need to start talking like that.
I feel like that's the approach we should take with all of the things that we do. We had the conversation the other day with Elon Musk's rocket company. Why not, as a part of that deal, we mandated not to give us millions of dollars, but hey, build a couple of schools in Exuma, build a school in San Salvador, build a school in these communities, modern schools that could, stand the test of time.
Yeah, absolutely. This texter says here, watch the road. This mix-up this morning, huh? I thought Trump was talking about countries who do not protect their borders from immigrants, aliens, and strangers. He was not talking about the fake news, climate change, and carbon. What's Prime Minister Davis talking about? Well, clearly you weren't paying attention. He was supposed to speak for 15 minutes, but spoke for more than, an hour? And he spoke about everything, all of it. And he said, indeed, that it was a hoax and that climate change was basically created by stupid, evil people.
But I blame the UN for that. This is why you don't let that man go off his teleprompter. Whoever messed with the teleprompter, this is on them. They created this chaos. This is on them.
Nobody messed with the teleprompter, and they say the White House was in full control of the teleprompter the whole time. So you got to blame the White House. But
so this was all a mirage. The teleprompter was indeed working, and he just wanted to go off script like this. Okay, I get it.
The teleprompter guy is the same guy who was on the escalator, probably. All right, so hey, we're gonna leave that there. We got another call. Is that call there still? Caller, I know you were holding for a while.
That was
Good morning.
before you finished, right?
Oh,
Carlo Bell,
okay.
Morning. Hello, Mr. Strachan.
Hi.
Yeah, it seems that you don't want to hear from me, man. But, I agree with Mr. Trump.
We don't know who's calling in, so
hello.
That's not how it works. We don't know who's calling in, so that's not how it works.
No, I was making a joke, Mr. Strachan. You have to be human sometimes, man.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, listen, Mr. Strachan. You went to QC and St. John's. Carlo seems to be very, very educated, right? The problem is with us as human beings, and we have to realize, whether you be in the college, knowledge, whatever, right? Some things we have to unlearn in order to move forward. But I'll guarantee you this, right? Nobody has actually never gone and actually studied or followed up what I was saying about anthropogenic carbon versus carboniferous carbon, right? And they can't tell the difference, and carbon is the source of all life. Actually, I think carbon is involved with over 600 reactions, but it's actually an infinitive amount because of its ability to want to stabilize itself. It forms long chains and long bonds. Now, the guy from Deep Venture Science University that I had conversations with over and over on the radio actually realized what I was saying. He told me to try and join and get them to look into this situation. What I'm saying is, you don't have to have a brain to realize that I agree with President Trump in that it is a farce. So not because people might like Trump, mean that you have to disagree with what he's saying. He's being guided by people also. They don't want to have real conversations about vaccines, the facts about them. There are 7 types of vaccines, but let's look at climate change and global warming that they're calling it, right? You have orbital deviations, planetary shift, right? And Jupiter ice caps are melting, but you don't have no car on Jupiter. What I'm saying is they're not talking about other gases like sulfur that creates health hazards in cities and big cities with diesel engines, and this is why they stop putting diesel engines in city parameters in first world countries. But we can't get ahead when we don't want to see the truth. What I'm saying is, I said, right, mankind cannot save himself. How can he save the planet? In other words, we're carbon. Carbon is the source of all life. That's why they do carbon dating. And so when you decide to measure carbon as a byproduct, to say tax it, there's so much variables. It's BS for somebody like me. And if I sit down and explain it to people, but Dwight, I'll tell you this. I'll debate anybody against this foolishness about carbon being the culprit because, like, they pick carbon. Al Gore, I need to settle the score because Al Gore, it's all about money. I told you guys to look into a book called The First Global Revolution and the first Rio Summit in Brazil. It's a farce in that they pick carbon because carbon is involved in every reaction, and it is more plausible and financially it's a financial construct. It's a tool. And so when you see Alan 77, there are actually predictions you could go back from the 1940s where all of these predictions about climate is wrong. They are incorrect. Even Paul Ehrlich, the population bomb, the Malthusian catastrophe. Dwight, it sickens my heart that they're driving humanity. I hear some BS about the doomsday clock in New York and 12 years before this, and we can be underwater in 50 years and 12 years. Right, man, I ain't telling no lie, right? What are they having children for? What are these people still buying coastal properties for, man? Right, we are being duped right of our minds. I'm afraid for humanity. The level of ignorance sickens my heart, Dwight. I'm ready to debate. The media have a right, and I get exposed it, Mr. Strachan. I get exposed it. How can you, if carbon is isotopes, right? That's the only way you can tell the difference between the carbon that God put you and the carbon that man made is true. It's isotopes. Carbon 40, 30, carbon 13, carbon 12, 13, and 14. The ratio of those determine whether it came from anthropogenic activity or whether God ever had it here. You have so many ways in which carbon can be offset, and you have so many variables in which plant offset carbon and produce carbon until when you decide to tell me brains between his ears that you can measure the amount of carbon in the air, I lose respect for anybody. I mean, I have to, right? It's all a global engineering project. The green.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. You know, we're just mere humans and just common, ordinary folk. I guess we can't process it. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. Hopefully everyone will finally at some point get on the same page. Really want to move on, but I'm going to read these messages really quickly. This person says here, why are you guys virtue signaling? Really? Whether people say climate change is or isn't real and you say that it is irrelevant. The question is, what are you doing to reduce it? You still drive your cars and suck up air conditioning. Criticizing someone for not believing and not doing anything is just as bad. So, Texas, what are you suggesting? That what you should show that you are real about it by not driving, not using air conditioning, and what else? Wearing the same one shirt for 200 years. What are you suggesting?
It's a combination of what 52 and C. Allen said. You have to, reduce the whole mirage. You can't buy these coastal properties. You can't enjoy life in a. C. Allen said you have to go back to the caves.
Cave
have
life.
to go back to the caves.
And twigs, cover yourself in leaves. Okay. Well, now we know. All right. So let's move on really quickly. This is a very interesting story in today's NASA Guardian. DPP drops $1.5 million theft trial of key police corruption case witness. Our TZ Davis writing about it. So the country's top prosecutor has stopped the trial of the remaining suspect in the 2023 $1.475 million theft case. Remember this case? The suspect, former ICS guard Akil Holmes, is expected to be the prosecution's star witness in the corruption cases stemmed from the release of phone calls between the alleged mastermind of the theft, Michael Fox Jr., his lawyer Bjorn Ferguson, and then CID Chief Michael Johnson. The money, the property of the Bank of the Bahamas, was supposed to be transported to branches in Freeport, Bimini, and Cat Island. Prosecutors allege that the money was stolen from the backseat of ICS guard Jerry Butler's Toyota Harrier on November 2nd, 2023. When Holmes's trial began on September 19th, Butler testified that he left the money unattended when he went into Odyssey Airport to let the pilot know that he was there. He said he came outside after he was alerted by a porter. He said he noticed that the back window of his vehicle was broken and the money was gone. According to Butler, he had previously transported large sums of money by himself while using his private car of an armored vehicle. He also said it wasn't the first time that he'd left money unattended. My Lord. Butler was expected to resume his testimony next month, but that won't be necessary since Director of Prosecutions Cordell Frazier has issued a nolle prosequi. Holmes will now return to the courtroom as a prosecution witness in 2 corruption trials. Prosecutors allege that Johnson stole $90,000 that was recovered from Holmes during the theft investigation. That's Michael Johnson, former CID chief. It's alleged that Johnson received the money from Sergeant D'Angelo Roll, who's charged with abetment to stealing. Ferguson and Johnson, all charges, and are accused of helping Fox, the reported leader of the Fox Hill Outlaws, from being charged with the money heist. Holmes is the complainant in another trial where he alleges that officers Chavez Sawyer, Benson Miller, Nelson Miller, and D'Angelo Roll attempted to extort money from him on November 3rd, 2023. Holmes's co-accused, Oral Roberts, was murdered in July 2024. Fox and Dino Smith, who were questioned concerning the theft but never charged, were also killed in separate shootings last year that are believed to be gang-related. Okay, gang-related. Wow. So let's get your reaction to all that. I mean, as much as we can say, which isn't, I guess, too much, but this is some real Hollywood type stuff.
I was just about to say we can't say too much, but that's where I want to focus this conversation.
Y'all are living some very exciting lives.
We need more movies about our culture here in the Bahamas.
Our culture? Is it our culture? Oh, wow.
I mean, at this point, you called some really high-ranking names. That's a part of the culture now. So we need to get a couple of Hollywood directors down here.
No. We don't need Hollywood directors. We can do this ourselves. Okay. There's no reason for any of us to be living in poverty.
I know we have really good writers here. We can get the script together. That's a terrific movie right there. I would pay top dollar to watch that.
We have a million blockbusters in this country. People just have to write about themselves.
First of all, I have to ask, and this is just a general question. How big is the stock of money that is total $1.5 million? Because to leave it on the back seat of a vehicle and somebody to break a window and just walk away with it, I'm trying to understand the schematics around it. How is that?
Do you put it in a Nike bag, or how do you move that around? Is it in a knapsack?
$1.5 million fit in the knapsack?
Well, it depends on the type of knapsack. I don't know.
These are answers.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a very exciting little place.
I need to. What was the max amount that he ever drove?
Oh, you sure you want to know that?
I need to know because now I need to understand how all of this took place. Because to say that this is not the first time I did it, this is not the first time I left it we need to know, because I'm not trying to besmirch the name of BOB in any which way.
I don't know if it's them. I think it might be the security company that they were allowing this stuff to happen. Right? And apparently people knew about it. ICS.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Of a Toyota. Toyota's the theme of the day.
There we go.
Man, oh man. Oh yeah,
I'm very interested in seeing the script for this.
Yeah. Let's be careful. We don't want to say anything directly about this case, but you're on the air.
Dwight?
Hi.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning. Good morning. You're not going to get us in trouble, right?
No, sir. Mm-hmm. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Poppy, and good morning, Ricardo, and good morning to your listeners.
Good morning.
I won't
quickly,
say
about 30
something.
seconds.
I have a question, like how you asked Ricardo, if he's sure you want to know. But I on the phone, Ricardo, you sound like you're educated, like 52 of them were saying, so I didn't get to listen to Trump, right? But what was when he talked about countries going to hell, he was talking about our immigration problems around the world, or he was talking about carbon copies? Straight up answer if it's possible, because I won't comment on what's right out.
Yeah, with the health thing, it was about the immigrant.
People to understand, he wasn't talking about the carbon credit, but you say he was running on so long because he didn't have to tell a prompter. He was talking about other things too, but I guess he had to make that clear. So people, when he say the country going to hell because your immigration problem, you're letting people invade it. Dwight.
Yeah. Okay, you want to hold on? We got to go to the news. We'll pick it up on the other side. Papa. We got to go to the news. We'll go to the news. We're going to go to the news. We'll pick this up on the other side. Okay?
So you think the former commissioner of police could be in that case with the voice note? I didn't know we had the voice note case.
No idea. No idea. Okay, we're going to be back. This is MorningBlend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Table and these are the chairs.
Welcome back to MorningBlend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:27, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Looking to paint? Well, your local quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. All right, so we've got a lot going on. Again, we're all watching what's going on in the tropics with a special weather statement issued in relation to tropical disturbance AL94, and residents in the entire Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos being urged to pay special attention to all alerts on this system for the next few days. So right now, for the northern and northwest Bahamas, we're dealing with something else, residual moisture supporting some showers and thunderstorms across the area. That's going to continue throughout the day. But that's different from what's going on right now in the southeastern Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms, gusty winds associated with an active tropical wave, AL94, will affect the central and southeast Bahamas today through tonight. The tropical disturbance now has a high chance of developing into an area of low pressure sometime today or early Saturday. And the unsettled weather is expected of the islands in the Bahamas this weekend as the disturbance continues its northerly track. So we must continue to monitor the system closely. So for today, your forecast for the extreme northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, partly cloudy, and tonight with a 20 to 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. For the northwest and central Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming variably cloudy tonight with a 20 to 30% chance of showers, increasing to a 60 to 80% chance by tonight for the central islands. And for the southeast Bahamas, already beginning to feel the impacts. Cloudy to overcast conditions today through tonight with a 60 to 80% chance of widespread showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures for most of the country around 90, 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will be 6 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. But for the southeast Bahamas, with the cloud cover and the rain, look for highs only in the mid-80s, about 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. The heat for you there. In your overnight temperatures, look for lows getting down to about 80, 81 Fahrenheit, about 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook for the week, the key time period we're looking at here, for Saturday, for the northern Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, partly cloudy to cloudy. And the central and southeast Bahamas will see cloudy to overcast conditions. That's where you'll see 60 to 80% chance of widespread showers and thunderstorms. For the rest of the country, rain chances between 20 and 60% Saturday night to about 60% for the northwest Bahamas. That's going to hold for Sunday, cloudy to overcast for the northern part of the country, northern and northwest, and cloudy for the central and southeast Bahamas. Rain chances increasing for the northern and northwest Bahamas as it continues to move northward, and rain chances fall back to about 40 to 60% for the central and southeast Bahamas by Sunday. And Monday, partly cloudy to cloudy for the southeast Bahamas, elsewhere variably cloudy. Rain chances fall back down to about 30 to 50% chance for showers and thunderstorms, and slightly improving conditions by Tuesday as the system begins to move out of the area. So we're all watching that, and there's also still two other hurricanes out there. Gabrielle now post-tropical cyclone as it moves closer towards Europe, and Hurricane Umberto, which poses for Bermuda. But that is your Morning Blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Letting you know that you can charge into 2026 in one of the new EV models now in stock at Easy Car Sales. Sleek, smart, and ready to roll. Visit easy242.com or any Easy Car Sales location for your test drive. And it is time for a check of your traffic, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. In your real-time number of hotspots to tell you about, we've got Independence Drive, seeing some heavy traffic eastbound. That's between Blue Hill Road and East Street. Very heavy traffic there, and that's going to extend into Tawny Groves-Darling Highway. You're heading eastbound. Westbound traffic on Tawny Groves-Darling Highway, and that's as you head west to Bahamas Games Boulevard, and you're going to see eastbound traffic to Bahamas Games Boulevard as well. Tawny Groves-Darling Highway, busy place to be this morning. Milo Butler Highway, as usual, heavy northbound traffic for you all the way up to that roundabout with Tawny Groves-Darling Highway. It's going to pick up again as you get onto Providence Highway between Sports Center Road and the roundabout and the six-legged roundabout. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill seeing heavy traffic from Carmichael straight up to Independence Drive and East Street north and south of the Soldier Road intersection. Very slow-moving northbound traffic for you this morning. Old Trail Road, heavy traffic for you southbound, southwestbound. And along Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, very slow-moving traffic at this hour. That's your hotspots. It's real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert. Brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Get a quote in Harris Branch or get an instant motor quote online at nuainsurance.com. Quick questions or big decisions, they've got you covered.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social medias for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Daniel Boulud, Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, and Simeon Hall Jr., alongside a vibrant lineup of Bahamian chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. Defying live performance by global superstar Lenny Kravitz, headlining the festival's welcome party on Friday, October 24th, with a concert experience you won't forget. This is more than a festival, it's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival that takes center stage. Bahamar, life spectacular.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more and win bigger bites and better deals? So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Higher than the highest mountain,
That's how I will love you, darling, endlessly, softer than the gentle breezes, and stronger than
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Ricardo Wells on this Friday morning, final Friday of September 2025. And every year they're with us to tell us all about this, the third annual Men's Health Seminar from Charisma Church in conjunction with Bahamas and M3, Men's Mobilization Mission, presenting this seminar coming up on Tuesday. Here to tell us all about this, very pleased to have back with us Pastor Mario Moxie, Pastor Kevin Harris, and the guest speaker, Dr. Marcus Cooper. Good morning, guys. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Good to be here. Good morning, Bahamas.
Good morning, and happy to be here as well.
Good
morning, all. Happy to be here.
Great stuff. So it's become a tradition for you all to talk about this. For those who are familiar, remind everybody what this is all about and how it came to be.
Well, let me just again say a special good morning. Several years ago, I personally encountered some health challenges. Had to go and to seek some assistance, and in going through that process, being involved in media, you take note of certain things, and I really use the opportunity to kind of log the process that I went through, and seeing a lot of men who were also there seeking assistance. Me that so many of us as men really we're not equipped with the right amount of information to assist us in the area of our health. And so the idea really was birthed out of that experience. I contacted my longtime friend, Dr. Marcus Cooper, who would really help me that I was going through at that time, and shared with him. I said, I think it's important really help as many men as possible to kind of avoid some of the stuff that I saw and that I actually went through as well. I think it'll be a good idea to maybe put together a seminar. Let's share with the brothers some of the things that can help with certain journeys. And so then after we agreed, we contacted Pastor Mario Moxie, another longtime friend and brother, to see if we can team up, join together, and to utilize not only the venue of Bahamas Harvest Church, but also the network that we all have in terms of having access to lots of people through the churches in terms of men and even beyond the church walls in the community. And so that began the journey, and the decision was made to host the first men's seminar, and that was in 2023. And from there, we have been moving towards helping to grow this event into something national so that as much men as possible are helped with the right information.
Yeah. And Mr. K, and all of you can jump in, by the way, but why do you think that is? Why do you think men have this unique issue facing?
Well, I'll tell you, Dwight, I think most of it is just ignorance. I was sitting, for instance, this week with my dentist. We were going over some oral situation, and one of the things I shared with him, I said, boy, it's amazing when you don't know, it could be really deadly and costly, And I think that a lot of our men, first of all, are facing two things. One, ignorance, and second, fear. A lot of guys just do not like going to the doctor. They don't like the possibility of being told that they either are battling something or they're near battling something, etc. And a lot of it also, I think, is cultural. Maybe in this country, we have this idea that, I'm this big, tough guy. I don't need nothing. Nobody can tell me nothing. I'm good. But a lot of times we have seen, many of us, and Dr. Cooper can speak to this more than anybody, the biggest strap in man can be brought down by the smallest disease. So I do believe that we have a serious issue culturally where men just don't believe it's important to get information about health and to check on their health status. It's a major issue, Dwight. And in recent time, and Pastor Mayo can attest to this, how many of my colleagues in church ministry have been holding funerals for a lot of men who are in their prime? A lot of men in their prime. And we have seen good friends of ours within the last year and a half, 2 years, who have really gone on, not reaching the age of 60 years of age. All right. And some, Dwight, really unexpected, some really sudden. It's just incredible what's happening. And I can tell you on a personal level, the many funerals. I'm preparing for a funeral this morning, 10 o'clock.
Oh,
All right. And so it's happening. So we're all seeing it from the pastoral level, Dr. Cooper from the medical level. Too many of our men are not really crossing over 60 years of age now because of non-communicable diseases, the effects. Some people are dealing with high blood pressure, Dwight, and again, Dr. Cooper will explain more. It's a silent killer. When they say that it's a silent killer, it truly is. A number of brothers have gone on sudden heart attacks, strokes, etc., because their high blood pressure was out of control. They didn't know it. They didn't check for it. So we're seeing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And every sector of society we're seeing it, right? Dr. Cooper, Pastor Barry, you can jump in on that. Dr. Cooper, what do you see?
I can't say that what Minister K is saying is very true. I can't say that I fully understand why we have this problem in the Bahamas, where men would rather not know until they are in a situation where something catastrophic happens, where you would rather die from a disease that you could prevent or having something really, really bad happen to you because you're just not interested. I don't understand that. And so every day I see men who, I had a conversation with a gentleman just a few weeks ago whose sister died from colon cancer at 58. And he is now 57. And even though he knew that his sister died from colon cancer and they had recommended that he have a colonoscopy, and I did his colonoscopy and he had colon cancer.
Oh my gosh.
And I asked him, I said, why didn't you do it before? Like, why did you wait? Because he said, I've been thinking about doing this for a couple of years and I just didn't get around to it. And I asked him, I sat him down and I said, tell me why you didn't do it. And he said, Doc, you know what? I don't know. I don't know why I didn't do it. I just don't know. And I was, I was really trying to get out of him, like having people tell you that you're at risk because your sister died from this thing and you really should go and get checked out. Why would you put this thing off? And he didn't know. And I think, the reasons are multiple, right? Men, like Kevin said, they don't want to know. They're afraid of knowing. They feel like, I'm a man, I'm taking care of my business, I'm leading my house. Fine, nothing is going to happen to me. I'm strong. I've been strong. I don't really need a doctor until I get sick or they get too busy. They're busy working and taking care of business that they just neglect their health. And so I think initiatives like this are so important and repetition is key. I mean, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, men may not get the message, but I think maybe the sixth, seventh, eighth time they get the message and you kind of encourage them and you push them and you prod them. And I say, let me just go and get this thing done. Let me pay more attention. Yeah, everybody in my family has diabetes. Maybe I should go and get this stuff checked out. I feel a little different. So we're hoping that this initiative helps to encourage men to be proactive about their health and to take their symptoms seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Pastor Mary, I'll leave it up to God. Is that part of the contributing factor here?
Well, again, we're taking stabs at this, and I think men tend to be men in our country from the perspective of they oftentimes put their health last because they prioritize the things that they have to do, their work, their family, and so they ignore their own bodies, they ignore their own well-being until, as Doc said just now, there's a crisis that hit them, and for most men, sometimes it's a matter of thinking fish for me to think about myself. But the reality is health equals legacy. And taking care of your health is not a selfish thing. It's an act of love for your family. It's an act of love for your children and for those that love you. When you begin to take care of yourself, you're communicating to them that I intend to be here to protect you, to provide for you. And that means that I have to also take care of myself. So healthy men leave stronger legacies. And I think that's the message that most men, when they think about their health and they think about their families, that's kind of the road they're on. We tend to think about our families first, and there's a degree of selfishness, and I agree that some of it is fair, some of it is just not wanting to deal with the issue right now until it becomes an issue. But as we've been saying, silence is costly, and many men suffer in silence with preventable issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, and depression. These things, just by attending to these alone, monitoring these things alone, can add years to your life.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get to the seminar in just a bit, but Dr. Cooper, I want you to go through some of the things that men really need to be paying attention to, and at which stages in life it'll become key to really get a handle on these things.
So if you're over 40, you need to be seeing a doctor every year. I mean, that's the most basic thing, the simplest thing that you can do to improve your health. Just go and see once a year around the time of your birthday or at the beginning of the year. Just find a primary care doctor and go and see a doctor. And the doctor will do blood tests. And if you're over 40, they'll start to check your PSA, which is a blood test, just a blood test, to start monitoring your prostate and trying to prevent issues from a prostate. Every man has a prostate. If you live long enough, you're going to develop an issue with your prostate, either an enlarged prostate. So just by getting in to see a doctor is going to help you to identify some things early. They'll be checking your blood pressure. Blood pressure is not something that you feel. High blood pressure, and many people will tell you, and I see this every single day, I went to the doctor, I went to the emergency room, I went to the clinic, and my blood pressure was high, and they gave me medication for a month, and then it ran out, and I never took it again. Oh, wow. Chances, and so they just don't take it, right? So somebody who had the opportunity, and sometimes physicians will lapse on this, did not make an impression enough of an impression on that man to say, look, this is something that could be chronic. This is not as take this medication for 4 weeks and you're cured, but this is something that we got to follow, because high blood pressure, when it's out of control, can kill you. It can cause you to have a heart attack and you die suddenly. It can cause you to have a debilitating stroke where you can't move one side of your body. It can cause chronic issues with your kidneys and you end up on dialysis 3 times. This thing can really be catastrophic if we don't get control of it. Mm-hmm. They'll check your blood sugars to see if you're diabetic. A lot of men are suffering with erectile dysfunction and they don't know why. And it's because their blood sugars are high. So the simplest thing that you can do is just get checked out after the age of 40. Some things happen before 40, particularly high blood pressure and diabetes. And usually one of those things, if you have that degree of elevated blood pressure or diabetes, it'll get you into a clinic. Something's going to happen that's going to force you to see a doctor. And once you do, then you got to take it seriously. Colon cancer is something that we start screening for around the age of 45. Men are afraid to do the test. They push it off. They have this fear of invasion. They feel like, doc, everything is fine. I have bowel movements regular. Everything cool. I don't have a problem. The reason we do screening is done on asymptomatic people, meaning people who feel perfectly well. You don't wait until you have a problem. And this is why preventative care is so important. So the most important thing you do is go to see a doctor after the age of 40. This is when things kind of start to happen. You need to be regular with your physicals or your annuals and get your blood work done. And when you start to have a symptom, if you feel something, if you've been living in your body for 40 plus years, you know when something is not right. You know when something is you figure, okay, I got this pain. You wait a couple of weeks, it's still there. Go and see a doctor. Don't ask your boy. Don't ask your friend. Go and see a doctor. You see blood in your stool, don't let your boy say, boy, I had hemorrhoids. It was just like that. That's only hemorrhoids. Take some of this preparation H. I have some here.
Oh, wow.
And don't do that.
Yeah,
Go and see
yeah.
a doctor. Let a professional make the diagnosis, or at least check you out. Could be a bigger problem.
Yeah. And we hear doctors on the show all the time talk about lifestyle, the drinking and the smoking. Let's talk about that and the impact that can really have.
Well, alcohol, we know, and particularly a bad thing. I mean, you got liver problems that's associated with alcohol. Alcoholics tend to be, can get something called fatty liver. Fatty liver can lead to cirrhosis. And when you get cirrhosis is the end of the line. It doesn't get better. Even if you stop drinking, it doesn't get better. And the only way to treat cirrhosis is by liver transplant, which is unfortunately not available in the Bahamas. So you're looking at end of life issues when that discussion starts to happen. Yeah. And then alcoholics tend to have other issues. They have depression, like Pastor Mario said, and they have erectile dysfunction. You can't get it up, and you're wondering why. And it's because your alcohol consumption is high. Smoking, even worse. I mean, if you're a smoker, you will develop a problem. And it amazes me that people smoke for 20, 30 years, and then when they get cancer, they're surprised. They're like, oh my God, like, how did this happen? It's going to happen. You smoke long enough and consistently enough, you're going to have a problem.
And
Guaranteed.
even those trendy cigars, that's going to lead to something too?
Well, cigars have their issues. I don't want to be a fear monger and say that if you have a cigar a couple of times a year that you're going to get cancer. Like you can do and get by, but we don't endorse smoking at all. It just it's not good for your lungs. There's other things, pneumonias and COPD that you can get from smoking. Chronic alcohol abuse is bad. Even in, this is a seminar for men, but even women who drink often, who drink wine, they develop, it takes a lot less alcohol for a woman to develop liver problems than a man.
Right.
But for men, we want to sensitize them to these problems, the common things, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate cancer, colon cancer, just being aware of the issues, being aware of things that happen in your body, and going and seeing a doctor and letting them check you out.
Yeah. So Minister K, Pastor Mario, this is the type of stuff we're going to be hearing about on Tuesday. Is that right?
That's right. And one of the things we talk about faith, the Bible tells us that our bodies are the temple of the Lord, and it's important for us to take care of this temple. We have obligation to God first and foremost, and then to our family. So caring for our health is an act of worship, and we have to be good stewards of not just our resources, our money, but we have to also be good stewards of managing our health. And that's why, as Dr. Cooper's been stating, it's so important to have these conversations. And a seminar like this kind of really opens the door for you to have this questions answered in an environment that is safe. And that's what we've been able to create over the years, an environment that is safe. Dr. Cooper is mild this morning because he's a straight shooter. And so we talk about things that impact men. And he would tell you, as we all know, the thing that impact men more than anything else is our sexual performance. And there are a lot of men that suffer in that area with things that they can prevent to make their experience a whole lot better than it is right now.
Okay. Wow. So Minister K, tell us more about it. This is for men only, right?
Yes, I was just going to say, Dwight, that in the Bahamas, we have been very successful at doing things a lot for our women. We felt that this was really important to have some things really designated for men. And so one of the rules is no women allowed. You can drop them off, but you got to go. So we want the men, to be safe, as Pastor Mario said, so they can talk. Dr. Cooper is a straight shooter. We get to the nitty gritty. We're being mild on this radio show, but we discuss it and the men like it. Second, I want to say that this is not a church event. This is a national event. What do I mean? We mean men from anywhere can attend. It just happens to be at Bahamas Harvest Church, but this is not a church event. This is a national cry for all men, no matter if you are a professional or if you are someone who is an entrepreneur, you are invited. We were so blessed, Dwight, last year to have so many professional men, both who are entrepreneurs, those who are in the other classes of areas. Some were retired. And I was so happy last year, and I want to encourage all of our women listening. We love you so much. The women got behind this, Dwight. They made sure their men, their fathers, their grandfathers, their sons, they made sure they came out, and I want to say kudos to all of our ladies. Please do it again. Make sure they get out there to ensure that they have the right information. One thing that Dr. Cooper will be talking about is, and something very important, Dwight, is a lot of our men are playing Russian roulette, particularly with the sexual performance issue. They're taking products to enhance their sexual performance that's causing heart attacks, and some of them are dying. And then the reports you're getting is they're dying with the gal. So you got to make sure, you got to come out and get information. And this may, we may sound a little bit in jest, but listen, Dwight, I'm going to be honest with you. I've attended several funerals. I was just thinking as they were talking in the last year and a half where that actually happened.
Oh, wow.
So, and I've had a couple of pastors tell me personally who buried some of these men that they had the same conversation we're having this morning. Tell them, check your blood pressure, check this and that. The blood pressure thing is very, very, and they go add these sexual performance pills or things they find at these gas stations and other stuff.
Oh, man.
Next thing you know, everybody getting on their block and you're having a funeral. And this is real. So I want men to come out, take it seriously. It's Tuesday. It's free of charge. It will be at Bahamas Harvest Church in the JFK R&D Plaza. There's no fee again. Come out. Ladies who are listening, please get the flyer. Call up your boyfriend, call up your husband, call up your son, whoever. Let's prevent a lot of the stuff that we're seeing happening. It certainly is an opportunity to do so. And we're going to do that on the 30th of September, which is Tuesday coming at 7 p.m.
Yeah. And Pastor Mario, there's a pretty big space you've got there, right? How many people can you accommodate? How many men can you accommodate?
We can accommodate as many men to show up. Last time we had quite a number of men there, and the atmosphere was electrifying. It's interesting. We're talking about this, but it's amazing to me that there's still so many men that are willing to be engaged about their health and take their health seriously enough that they will pull away from their work schedule and give time to this. So I just, that was an amazing experience for this coming Tuesday to see this all happen all over again and for men to gather. And then also, the questions were just very, very intimate. Men walked away armed with knowledge and information, questions they probably had in the back of their head for years and never had the opportunity to ask an expert. And they were just able to lay it out. And Dr. Kubu, in his way, was able to deal with the issues. And so I just encourage men to come. There is ample space for you and all your boys to come out with you on Tuesday.
Hey, yeah, make it a men's night. Come out Tuesday, 7 p.m., Bahamas Harvest Church. Thank you so much, Pastor Mario Moxie, Pastor Kevin, Minister Kay Harris, and of course, Dr. Marcus Cooper. Great information, great segment. Thank you so much. Appreciate it all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dwight. God bless.
All right. Again, it's the third annual Men's Health Seminar, 7 p.m. at Bahamas Harvest Church. All right. We're going to break for news. When we come back, we're talking about something for the ladies. You don't want to miss it in business. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Girl, you're my crown. Whoa, whoa, my love. You're all I prayed for. You were made for these arms to surround. Oh, as the morning sunrise. And sacred eyes of love can be.
Here's the Sher winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee. We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes. Some used on shoes and leathers. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have clean products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp,
clays.
stew shrimp, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Show and Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Don't wait for a storm to arrive. Stock up on hurricane supplies, make home repairs, purchase a generator, and more this hurricane season with a Fidelity personal loan. Make that move today. Call 354.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant water. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Marcus Samuelson, Dario Zucchini, Simeon Hall Jr., and Scott Conant, alongside a vibrant lineup of chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. From curated tasting events to beachfront feasts and immersive gallery experiences, this is more than a festival. It's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage.
Summer lasts forever at BWF. Beat the heat with unbelievable prices. Up to 50% off tent sales Saturday, September 27, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Deals, deals, and more deals. Red hot prices and cool buys. Brighten this season with huge savings. Up to 50% off tent sales Saturday, September 27, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Savings includes fans, coolers, grills and griddles, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, garden supplies, household supplies, and much more. Shop now and save with BWF new store hours Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street. Check us out on Facebook and like our page to keep up to date with more exciting bargains. BWF, we ship to the Family Islands. Telephone 394-0004 or 6.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites students
from grades 4 to college or university to compete in the Get Money Smart Bahamas video essay competition. Students must produce a 3 to 5 minute video sharing their views on the topic Artificial Intelligence will help boost local Bahamian financial services. Entry deadline is October 31st, 2025. Visit GetMoneySmartBahamas.com or join 242 on social media for more info.
John's Shoes and Accessories September sale has begun, and you don't want to miss out on the greatest savings event of the year. 25% off items for men, women, and children, including appliances. 15% off brands like Timberland, Skechers, Steve Madden, and more. And don't forget John's Carewear for 25% off nursing, hospitality, and chef uniforms, as well as John's Fashion for 25% off women's fashion clothing. Shop big savings with John's Palmdale or Carmichael Road from now until September 30th. We put fashion at your feet.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend on this Friday, September 26th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Ricardo Wells. And this morning, the Hey Sis Empowerment and Resource Center for Women is gearing up for their annual Hey Sis Unstoppable Weekend. Here to tell us a speaker from last year's event, Anjanette Saint from the Nail Coach, and an attendee last year who is returning this year, Teresa Cash from Cash Insight Baja Salary Scale. And we have the founder of Hey Sis Empowerment and Resource Center for Women, somebody called Laverne Gardner. Is it Laverne Gardner? Is that correct?
Somebody called Laverne Gardner. Okay. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ricardo.
Good morning, Laverne Gardner, our co-host here on Morning Blend. So good to have you with us in your other capacity today.
Yes, and wearing my...
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. All right. And Teresa and Anjanette, welcome. Welcome. Great to have you with us. All right. So, Laverne, you've been here before telling us about Hey Sis, but remind folks how this got started and what the objective is.
So, Hey Sis Empowerment and Resource Center for Women, or just, the short version, Hey Sis, is focused on empowering, educating, uplifting, encouraging women to become their best selves in pursuit of their personal and or professional goals. And this was founded in 2022. And since then, every year we've been having a workshop. The first one we did was for menopause and perimenopause. But last year we had our first From Stuck to Unstoppable event, which was well attended, well supported. So thank you to everyone, whether you tuned in person or online. And this year we are back with From Stuck to Unstoppable. The journey continues.
Okay, all right, wonderful. So I don't know if you caught the last segment. So we're talking about a men's health seminar. And one of the guests said how the women are always doing things. And it was important to have something just for the men. So I want to ask you, and it does seem to be that way. The women are always doing something. So why is it still so important, events like this for women?
It's so important because we need the support and we need the connection and the guidance from our sisterhood. And Us having events does not prevent men from having events, right? It's not a competition, but we recognize that there is a need out there for women to support to help them along their journey, and we want to be that support.
Okay, all right. It's not a competition.
It's not a competition. Absolutely not. I'm
morning,
always
Laverne.
excited. Hi, Ricardo. Hi,
I
how
just
are
feel like
you?
Dwight jumped in to preemptively read a text that he was going to get.
No.
Yes.
I just know what's
I'm in
coming.
agreement. We know our friend, and he normally will WhatsApp and say why the women. But I always say the same thing. This is not a competition. Just as I and others recognize a need, and we are trying to support women and create that supportive, uplifting sisterhood, men are welcome to do the same that would work for men. And
Okay.
I'm 100% behind that.
All right. So tell us about last year, specifically some of the things you did and what came out of it.
All right. So last year it was just one day. This year it's going to be 2 days. So it was on a Sunday, and we had various speakers come in and share their journey, but a workbook so that when you left the event, you had a document that you could refer to, that you could look at, that you helped to write down your goals and whatever, and all those things, and to help you along the journey. So we did that last year. Now, this year, and Dwight, I got to tell you, the room was absolutely full. And so that, I'm so grateful to God. That was such a blessing. So it was a testament to not only what we're doing, but that women recognize that they want that support. They need the support to get from stuck to unstoppable. This year, the format is a little bit different. We have 2 days this year. We're going to have a lunch that's going to be on that Saturday. It's only going to be for 50 women. We want to keep it a bit intimate, and we're going to have an opportunity to share, connect, and also learn speakers. And of course, you mentioned we do have one of the speakers for the lunch here today. And so she'll share a bit about what she'll be speaking on. And then that Sunday is the main event, the workshop. We're not going to be filled with guest speakers. There was nothing wrong with the speakers. But this year, what I really want us to do is focus on us. I want us to be inspired and motivated and excited about our journey. So we're going to spend a lot of time working in that workbook, getting to the heart, to the root of why it is we find ourselves not moving forward, even when we have support, even when we have the resources, the tools moving forward. And I'm saying to you, Dwight, that it has a lot to do with our mindsets, the things that we are telling ourselves, the things that we are believing that aren't necessarily true, the toxic patterns and behaviors that we've developed over the years, whether it's through experiences or whatever. And they are now, maybe they served us before, but they are now hurdles, and they're blocking us.
Personally or professionally or all of it?
Both.
Uh-huh.
Both. Because one trickles into the next, right? One will trickle into the next and will have an impact on the next. And so we want to help women to recognize these patterns, these thought patterns, and not only just recognize and acknowledge them, but also to be able to replace those patterns, because we have the ability to do it, and we have to do it daily, renew our minds daily, and not allow those negative patterns to come back. But it can be done if we are willing to do the work.
All right. So Anjanette and Teresa, jump in, because I want to know, how do you do it? How do you get rid, especially the problem that you are the toxic trait in your life? What do you do?
Morning, Dwight. It's Anjanette. Happy to be here.
Good morning. Good morning.
I think a lot of times we're afraid. A lot of what we do comes from fear or what we don't do. And that can be, what stifles us a whole lot. So like Laverne mentioned, and good morning, Laverne. Morning, Teresa.
Morning.
Like Laverne mentioned, there are things that we want to be doing, but somehow we have to shift our mindset so that we become, and I don't want to make it sound so cliche-ish, but we have to become unstuck. And becoming unstuck is really it. That's a job that only we can do with support. Because I believe that we can get so far, but then we need someone to hold our hands to take us a little bit further. I think that has a lot to do with why we're stuck. And my contribution this time, last year I spoke a little on small wins. This time, Dwight, from then until now, I have taken a deep dive into AI.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and so I find that there are a lot of women, the sisterhood, and in general, there's so much talk about this technology. Some of it is faced with fear, some a lot of unknown. And with me being a nail tech, they're like, okay, so why are you doing this?
Because you are a certified AI specialist?
Yes, I did the training that was afforded to us by His Excellency Sebastian. And I flew into Nassau and I did that. And so I've been that. And this year, like I was about to say, my contribution is primarily to teach women, the attendees, how to get the most out of AI for their life and for their work. What I have found, Dwight, is it's a tool that is being not fully maximized. And especially if you're afraid. So we know how to, or we've been taught how to write an email, send those types of responses, look up information. But I find that with women, we want to be and we need to be empowered, like Laverne mentioned. And with AI, we don't know exactly how to do that. So I want to bring that element in there and show retirees what they can be doing in their retirement stages, those who are looking for side hustles, how they can increase their earnings, and tangible tools they can actually use AI for to positively affect and see the results that they're looking for. So that's basically what this is all about, a mindset shift, a teaching, a learning, and an empowering session.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Can you give us one hint, one little thing? Because, I mean, that would make AI improve your side hustle.
Okay, so what I'm going to be presenting.
Right, you don't know what you started.
Oh my God, Laverne,
you don't
if
know.
you only knew.
One thing, just one thing, Annie. One thing.
Oh,
one thing. A lot of us beyond that actually have the gifts and callings that we already have on our life that we can monetize. And so you can literally, I'm going to show how you can actually build a business based on just your own intellectual capacity and how you can increase your earnings. And a lot of times it may require us to just manage our time a little bit better, manage our finances a little bit better. And so all of that in that session, Dwight, you should come. In that session, we're going to chip away at those ways where we can actually use AI to help us manage those spaces and get the most out of our life and our work.
Wow. Okay. Teresa, we'll get to you in a second, but I just got to ask Anjanette one more thing. So again, you run the Nail Coach. Are you trying to say that AI is helping you in your business?
Oh, yes. And how does it do that? Especially in the area, especially in the area of content, because in this space that I'm in the beauty industry, there are a lot of people posting. But it's very important that you understand how to attract your ideal client. So it helps me to create more targeted ads, content, so that I can consistently reach new customers and engage my existing customers. AI makes that easy by just giving me the content that I need in split second and create the ad in split seconds to do exactly what I needed to do. That gives me to retain my customers and attract new customers.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Very exciting. So your presentation is going to be very hot this year. Okay. Wonderful stuff. And Teresa Cash Insight Baha scale salary scale. You attended last year. Tell us what you got out of it last year.
Good morning, everyone. Well, my name is Teresa Cash. Of course, I am now the founder of Cash Insight. Well, last year when I went, I was going through a journey. I know this year, Laverne topic is dealing a lot with mindset, but going into that, my mindset was, I was already working on my mindset, the place where I was. But being in clarity, you know what I mean? Clarity and courage. That event became a turning point for me. I worked through that workbook after that, and the speakers in there were so inspirational for me. They poured into us, and Laverne's vision also inspired me. So I left there with a lot of courage, and I know Annie and Laverne spoke about it. We have so much fears, and even now, where I am today from then, I still struggle with a lot of fear, but sisterhood, like people like Laverne, Annie, I have Kayleen, who encourage me. And it's good when I have friends that see things in you that you sometimes can't see. That sisterhood is so meaningful. It helps you to get from one place to the next. And there are days when it's really tough, but when you have persons like them mentoring you, Laverne is my personal mentor. She, sometimes she just have to spank me up, but it's been a real journey working with what I've learned from that event. I sometimes, journaling, because with that, it's like sort of journaling for me. And I was able to map out my goals, what I wanted to do with Cash Insights. And, things have been going real good with that.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about your company.
Well, I am working on the first salary database for the Bahamas. It's in the process. After that event, actually, I want to say days after that event, I really hit the ground running on my survey. We have a survey, an anonymous survey out for persons to contribute to it with their salary data for me to be able to compile a database, whereas I can offer services to employers and employees. Now, benchmarking reports, insights, if you have a job interview, you're going on, there's a role and you don't know what your salary base should be based on your experience, you will have a resource to go to help.
Okay.
For employers, it offers valuable benchmarking reports. There are a lot of investors that come into the country and they want to know what our market looks like in terms of pay. And they don't have a resource to go to for that. I know personally that there are companies that outsource that data to the US. And of course, those numbers kind of have to be inflated a bit because it's not our data. What I am doing will be our actual data that they will have access to.
Excellent. Excellent. Very exciting. Okay, when do you anticipate you'll be done with that, to have all the information in?
Well, it's ongoing. Like with everything, it takes time. I post regularly and try to get persons to contribute to it. Right now, we have like almost 250 respondents on our survey. But it's going to take time. I just I did a business class and a pitch competition with UB Ignite, which I won. So I got some funding to help me with starting it. So I will be doing a lot more marketing to get persons along with it.
Yeah, wow. And look at that. Hey, sis, inspired you to keep the work up. That's wonderful stuff.
Certainly, yeah.
Wow. All right, so Laverne,
Yeah.
people want to be inspired like this. So
Absolutely.
what should women be doing?
So what you should be doing is going to heysisempowerment.com and registering for the Unstoppable Weekend. Like I said earlier, it is the lunch on Saturday, and it's only limited to 50 women. But the workshop, which is the main event, is open. And so we're encouraging you to register at heysisempowerment.com. And Dwight, I just want to say that Teresa and other women, they inspire me to keep going, right? To keep sharing, to keep trying to uplift and empower women, that the things that are in your heart are possible, but fear and limiting beliefs keep us stuck right where we are, afraid to move because what if I fail? Afraid to move because, oh, I don't think I have enough education or whatever. And honestly, Dwight, sometimes we don't even dream or shoot for the goal that we really want. We settle because we think that what we really want in our hearts is too much for us. Where did that belief come from? How can we deconstruct that belief? And when we deconstruct that belief, we can now replace that with, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can step out. And I'm saying it because I used to be like that. I know, shocker, right? But I used to be like that with a lot of limiting thoughts and I'm saying no to opportunities of all of the things that I carried in my mind. It wasn't that people didn't believe me. I would pitch an idea and they would be like, yes, do it. I'm there for you. But why didn't I do it? Because I was my biggest hurdle, and we have to work through that. And so I've created a new workbook this year. And so we have a different workbook. It's kind of similar. It has similarities to last year's workbook, but we're going to be talking about mindset shifts and then doing the work, because no matter what, you have to commit to doing the work. So we'll be purposeful goals, not just smart goals, but heart goals. And then the inner work of becoming and how the journey continues. And so I'm very excited about this event. And if you're listening and you're out there and anything that we've shared has resonated with you, I hesitate to register. The lunch is $50. The workshop is $90. But if you do both, we've packaged it at $125. Now, for my listeners in New Providence and maybe the Family Islands, you're saying, how can I get involved? Because I want to be there. Listen, I know you want to come to Grand Bahama. We've even made arrangements at the hotel for an Unstoppable Weekend discount if you want to make this a girls' trip. Make this a girls' trip and hop over to Grand Bahama. You don't even have to get the day off Friday. You can come Saturday morning and leave first thing Monday morning, empowered, refreshed, refueled, better employee, better mom, better person, put in the work.
You got a plane package too? You got it all sorted out?
Listen, I don't have the plane package yet, but I'm just saying I'm working on everything for you.
Okay.
If you really want to be there, you can be there in person.
All right, excellent. Is there a deadline to register?
Absolutely, Dwight. There is always a deadline because we want to make sure that we are preparing for our attendees. Let me pull up that registration deadline. I was about to say September 30th, which is today. So let me just pull that up before people are like, how could the deadline be today? And we're here. So the deadline to register and to have your payments in is October 17th.
Okay.
If you want to come for the lunch, you have to register as soon as you can and make your payment because there are only 50 seats.
Okay.
And during that time, we're not only going to have speakers, we're also going to have vendors who are going to come and be there. No more than 4, but so we really want a time of connecting and sharing and uplifting and preparing ourselves for that Sunday. So the lunch is at 12. It's going to be at the National Workers Complex. And then that Sunday, the main event, which is the workshop, will be at Ocean's Blue, and that's at the Ocean Reef Resort.
Okay, so you only have about 3 weeks to register for the event. So and it's women only, is that right?
Women only. So husbands, if you are listening, boyfriend, go ahead and go on to HeySisEmpowerment.com and you can register your significant other, female significant other, and this would be your gift to them.
Okay, all right, wonderful stuff. Give us the date
Sure.
for Unstoppable Weekend.
The Unstoppable Weekend is November 8th and 9th, 2025. You can register at HeySis, HeySis, Empowerment, EMPOWERMENT.com. Or if you want to send us a WhatsApp because you want more information, you can do that at 242-826-6278. If you are interested and you know for some reason that you won't be able to travel, please reach out because it's for you, as we did last year, to make sure that you are a part of the workshop.
Excellent stuff. Laverne Gardner, you're always doing exciting things when you're away from MorningBlend. We're very proud of you. But this is going to be great, as always. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. And Anjanette,
thank you too.
Teresa, Cash, thank you. Thank you both for
Dwight,
sharing your
before
story.
I go, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my sponsors, because this would not be possible without some of my sponsors. And so I want to thank Imagine Graphics and Printing, who has always supported me and come on board from day one. Thank Guardian Radio for supporting me, and especially you, Dwight Strachan.
Okay,
So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you again. And ladies, thank you for being here with us this morning. Laverne, hey, if you want to stick around for a couple
Not to go, no.
You're a very busy person.
But
Anyway.
you try.
Okay.
I promised to tune in because, Ricardo is on, so I got to tune in.
We're going to be
Thank you
talking
so
about
much.
We're going to be talking about Grand Bahama in just a bit. But anyway,
Oh, Lord, you tempted me. You're tempting me.
You're welcome to stay. Thank you again. Thank you, Anjanette. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Dwight.
All right, we're going to take a break and be back in just a bit. This is MorningBlend Business on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the financial services event of the year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Bahamar Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy. This is the premier networking and knowledge-sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cfal.com.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
John's Shoes and Accessories September sale has begun, and you don't want to miss out on the greatest savings event of the year. 25% off items for men, women, and children. 15% off brands like Timberland, Skechers, Steve Madden, and more. And don't forget John's Care Wear for 25% off nursing, hospitality, and chef uniforms, as well as John's Fashion for 25% off women's fashion clothing. Shop big savings with John's, Palmdale, or Carmichael Road from now until September 30th. We put
reliable and impactful printing services. Look no further. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Print Masters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites students from grades 4 to college or university to compete in the Get Money Smart Bahamas video essay competition. Students must produce a 3 to 5 minute. Artificial intelligence will help boost local Bahamian financial services. Entry deadline is October 31st, 2025. Visit GetMoneySmartBahamas.com or check out Get Money Smart 242 on social media.
Nothing beats a Chickchani challenge. On September 27th, we're bringing the action, a 5K course packed with 20 thrilling obstacles. Start and finish at Fusion Superplex with energy, fun and excitement all around. First time? No problem. Try the Chickchani Lite version, built just for beginners. Got kids? Ages 3 to 7 can take on their very own Chickchani Kids Challenge. And this year, we're turning 10. So grab your team, mark your calendar, and come celebrate with us. Visit chickchanichallenge.com to sign up today. Thanks to our sponsors, Guardian Radio 96.9, Kalina, RBC, Advantage Insurance, Party Pilots Rentals and Events, Fincastle Media Group, Powerade, Click, and Art of Graphics.
Your solution for rising gas prices and expensive car maintenance has landed. Brand new 2026 electric vehicles from BYD have arrived at Easy Car Sales. Imagine no more gas and major savings on maintenance. Test drive a BYD EV today and save thousands with the car that redefines driving. Visit easy242.com for our 3 locations. Easy Car Sales, the only authorized BYD dealer and warranty provider in the Bahamas.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the financial services event of the year. The 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic opens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Bahamar Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy. This is the premier networking and knowledge-sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cfal.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business. Bahamar expects to finish the year with occupancy down 4% year on year. That's according to the hotel's president, Graham Davis, who explained yesterday that the resort is disappointed with the decrease when compared to last year, saying they had higher expectations for their budgeting purposes for 2025. He made the remarks during the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association's Board of Directors and Membership meeting. He also explained that the hotel's slow season occupancy is currently trending 20% lower than last year, with occupancies at 30%, though Davis says that the resort expects occupancies to begin climbing again next month and ramp up again into the 70% range for the busy Thanksgiving holiday period. The National Fisheries Association Secretary Paul Melas telling Guardian Business that the charter licensing and permit system is a free-for-all, his words, because there are no limits to entry aside from individuals' purchases, that the NFA fully supports and endorses the efforts that are being made to crack down on foreign illegal charters, but he says, I believe that it's paramount issue facing the fishery industry and impacts the future of security of the fishery resource. A multi-agency anti-poaching operation led to the interdiction of a foreign vessel engaging in illegal fishing off the Berry Islands this past weekend. 3 people were arrested. And NAD, the airport development company, NASA Airport Development Company, has moved to the next stage of the development of its airport hotel at Lyndon Pinling International Airport by issuing requests for proposals to the qualified companies that replied to NAD's expression of interest for the hotel. NAD's president and CEOs confirming this yesterday, making remarks at the BHTA's Board of Directors and Membership meeting, saying the work has now begun in earnest to get the airport's hotel developed. Walking says that they've envisioned the 2 small, no more than 120 keys each. You can read more on this story in today's Guardian Business section. And amendments to the Business License Act will change the way liquor businesses register with the Department of Inland Revenue and will mean the end of drive-through bars, takeaway restaurants serving liquors, and establishments that sell liquor through cages. That's according to DIR Acting Controller Shunda Strachan. Strachan also at that BHTA meeting saying that established liquor businesses will also have to go through the DIR's new registration process. She admitted that the process of businesses at first. She's also explained that mobile bars will not be allowed and could disrupt parts of the growing food truck industry in the country, adding that convenience stores that have begun the practice of selling alcohol will no longer be allowed to do so. Trump said Thursday that he will put import taxes on pharmaceutical at 100%, 50% on kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities, 30% on upholstered furniture, and 25% on heavy trucks starting October 1st. The post on his social media site showed that Trump's devotion to tariffs did not end with the trade frameworks and import taxes that were launched in August. While Trump did not provide a legal justification for the tariffs, he appeared to stretch the bounds of his role as commander-in-chief, stating that on Truth Social that the taxes on imports and sofas were, quote, national security and other reasons. Under the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, the administration launched a Section 232 investigation in April about the impacts on national security from pharmaceutical, drug, and truck imports. The department launched a 232 investigation into timber and lumber in March, though it's unclear whether the furniture tariffs stem from that. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BSX from Thursday, your market movers, Colina Holdings moving 1,825 shares, closing at 13.25 unchanged. AML Foods Limited moving 59 shares, closing unchanged at 6.55. Consolidated Water down 5 cents, closing at 6.94. Emira Incorporated up 5 cents, closing at 11.48. The BSX All-Share Index closing at 3,041.50, down 0.32. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Oi.
Hello, Ma. I'd like to hear a new beat on the request line.
Okay, you get it. When I was a rising star, West End was the place to go. Some never thought I would get this far. Thank the Lord, I still got my show. Junior Wish could play that guitar. That boy could sing to the then even end up to the star, Austin Grant's place. Party till the morning light, and that's no lie. sweet home, Grand Bahama. Music, please. Oh, I'm coming home to you.
And we are back with our final few minutes of Morning Blend Business on this Friday, final Friday of September 2025. Welcome back to the show. I'm Dwight Strachan along with Ricardo Wells. And we mentioned this briefly yesterday, but I wanted to get into it today. This article from Guardian Business yesterday, Ricardo. The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce president is saying that since Celebration Key opened, they are noticing a direct impact on business in the Freeport area. And I want to read a bit of this. Yori Kempar, a senior business reporter, writing that according to Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce president, since the opening of Carnival Cruise Line's Celebration Key private destination, there has been a 90% drop in foot traffic to Grand Bahama businesses. Knowles said that none of Celebration Key's guests are leaving the destination. None are leaving the destination and venturing into other parts of Grand Bahama. Not one. Wow. Okay. He said, quote, right now, the novelty of going there and participating in the things there is such that people aren't leaving the site. We've seen like an 80 to 90% drop in foot traffic. The marketplace is also a ghost town. There are challenges right now that need to be addressed. There's nothing happening at the harbor for tour operators. I see it as a short-term issue, but it's a significant issue right now. Visitors have dropped tremendously. Wow. Carnival Cruise Line officially opened its new and exclusive Grand Bahama destination on July 19th. Carnival Vista made the first official visit to the cruise port, and nearly 5,000 guests experienced all the fun of Celebration Key, boasting amenities like its unique sun castle, which is reported to be the world's tallest sand castle. Okay, is it made out of sand? Oh. The world's largest swing and swim-up bar, and the Caribbean's largest freshwater lagoons.
Very interesting. The sand castle. Can we get photos or maybe a group trip?
Yeah, let's all go. Celebration Key was projected to bring significant economic revitalization to Grand Bahama through job creation, a substantial $1 billion in the local economy, and increased tourism. The destination is expected to become a major hub for Carnival Cruise Line in the Caribbean, drawing millions of visitors annually and creating hundreds of permanent jobs for Bahamians. So, wow. Now, this is Knowles again, the chamber president there, saying, it is my personal belief that as soon as the novelty is worn off and all of Carnival's passengers have been to Celebration Key once, the next time they come, they're going to want to leave Celebration Key and go to do other stuff. Okay, let's get your reaction to that very quickly. We only have a few minutes left. Ricardo is surprised by this.
I'm not, and this is the perfect time for our government to, position the researchers, position the tourism experts on the island of Grand Bahama, because this is a bit of a foretelling for what's possible in New Providence. I know we look at everything the downtown corridor has to offer, Paradise Island and Bahama.
You mean with the Royal Caribbean, or?
Yes, with Royal Caribbean, that's forthcoming, because things that a lot of the cruise ship passengers actually look forward to. It's not the idea of trying to find an excursion or trying to get into the mix of the general public. The idea is I want as nice as a relaxing vacation as possible when I go to some of these islands. And if you give them the option between walking up and down our downtown corridor, they at a water park, 10 to 1, they're going to choose the water park. So these are the things that we have to be concerned with.
Yeah. Well, the one difference, Royal Caribbean, I think, is on a much smaller scale, and their numbers, I don't think they can accommodate the numbers that Celebration Key can. But I do take your point.
They're going to accommodate the numbers that Bahama and Atlantis can't accommodate. That's the concern.
Wow. All right. So, how many people were actually going to these places in Grand Bahama to begin with?
You got a 90% drop off.
Well,
that's a big suggestion.
Well,
I don't think the data was kind of properly documented prior to, but for him to say 90%, he had to be looking at something.
Okay. Well, people were coming, but nobody's coming now. Yeah. still, I don't know. But this is, as I'm saying, this is the offering. Is that the challenge? Because if there was something really amazing there, people would still want to go. And that's the same thing that Nassau has, right? Outside of the cruise port, is there really anything compelling to get you off the ship to experience? And all of our destinations need to be concerned about this. We've been talking about this for decades. What have we done? We've eradicated what makes us unique and special, and we're offering cruise ship passengers something they can find on all they're going to make on their cruise. We've been saying this for years, and we're seeing little movement with this. Are we shooting ourselves in the foot?
To a degree, we are. I've long been a proponent of what has gone on in some of our family islands in terms of things like Perfect Dead, Kokoki, because those communities are one-off. Stop there. It doesn't really make a difference to the immediate general public. But when you look at things like the Freeport Corridor, the downtown Nassau Corridor, you have businesses that rely on those cruise passengers. So once you remove elements from those corridors, what then happens to those businesses?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is the time, though, that didn't appear overnight. People should have been saying, well, when they come, I'm going to put up all my signs and let everyone know that you can still come out here because I've got this amazing new thing for you to see to them. Just offering the same old is going to result in a 900% drop off. If people say, well, there ain't nothing new out there anyway.
All you did was read the story, and I was captivated by the sandcastle. So.
Right? I was going to say, I still want to see the sandcastle. And who knows? I'm sure they're going to not just leave it like that for 500 years. It's going to be something new. That's how these things work. And yet, we in a tourism market don't get that. That there's got to be something new at least every year for people to see if you are a tourist destination. And don't leave it to the hotels to do it. Don't leave it up to the hotels. All right, let's read this message really quickly. This is about what we were talking about earlier. This person said to either avoid or delay going to the doctor is ridiculous. I know a doctor who said that both genders do this. Other facts like finances play a role in not seeing the doctor, but this isn't only done by men, so stop it. Texter, I don't know why you all hear things like this, but they're saying it's a more common phenomenon with men. Not that women don't do it too, right? It's more common in men. Okay.
I'd have to repeat that again, Dwight.
Really? I'm exhausted having to say it. I'm exhausted. Do I really have to say it again? Everybody's doing it. But it's more common in men. That's what all the doctors are saying, that the men are coming when they're like bleeding through their eyes. But good Lord, how long have you been feeling this? Just, 10 years now. But you're coming now because obviously you can barely move. That's the problem. That's what they're saying. So everybody just chill out a bit and go and see the doctor for your annual physical. How about that? Ask them to check out your mental health too. But yeah. Ricardo Wells, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. We'll see you again soon. And I'll be back on Monday with more Morning Blend. Everybody, please stay tuned to the Guardian News Network for the latest on this tropical wave, soon to be depression, that's going to be impacting our weather this weekend. All the updates here every hour on the hour on the Guardian News Network. Be safe. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
I ain't going to what our Christmas balls. Sweet home, Grand Bahama. Oh, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home, Grand Bahama. Nowhere else will ever do.